is a live look at the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, where it's 10:16 in the morning. The Republican National Convention will begin tomorrow in Wisconsin. Delegates from Massachusetts are now in Milwaukee, joined now by Amy Carnevale, chair of the Mass GOP. Amy, good morning to you. So what is the mood among the delegation? And let me ask you, because you are there and you're at the core of it, how are you doing?
Frankly, thanks for having me, first of all. The mood is very somber, dramatically shifted yesterday. I walked over to the Fiserv Forum to pick up our credentials or tickets for the delegation for the week's activities. There was a festive mood in the morning. The forum was getting ready for the events of the week. Lots of chatter and activity, upbeat mood, looking ahead forward to the week ahead. A lot of discussion about Joe Biden and the problems on the Democratic nomination side. And that was all the talk of the week. And that changed instantly in the afternoon. And frankly, a lot of the delegates are still processing what this means and how close we came to losing our nominee on the eve of the convention.
Oh, yeah, extremely close. And by the way, right now, as of 11:17 in the morning here, there are no changes to the convention, right? It's still going on as scheduled and fully as scheduled, right?
Convention is going on as scheduled. I understand there will be some additional security precautions taken inside the secure zone to further ensure the security of the convention itself. I do anticipate some of the programming may change. I heard some of your guests earlier talking about the tone and tenor of speeches. I think we will see a change in the tenor. There was a small welcome reception last night that had been planned by the Milwaukee Host Committee. That was canceled, but the convention itself will proceed as scheduled.
So you've gone to this area, but let's drill a little deeper. What message do you want to come through after this terrible incident?
No, I think it's a time for our country to try to come together to talk about solving political problems at the ballot box rather than through political violence. That is never the solution to problems. It was heartened to see the message come from the Democratic side as well. And we share that on the Republican side. It's a time to talk about policy solutions and advocating for candidates that support the solutions that we believe in.
Let's talk about policy. What policy will be affected by what's happened?
Certainly the policy differences on the Republican and Democratic sides are stark as compared to Joe Biden and Donald Trump. In terms of the incident that happened itself, I do think the tone and tenor of some of the rhetoric will be toned down. I don't know that it will change the policy solutions being advocated by both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. I think we'll see some of the same principles and policy solutions advocated. And in fact, the Republicans passed a platform earlier this week that's really designed to reach out to independent voters and bring them into the Republican Party.
Amy Carnevale, thank you for your time. Greatly appreciated. And if you can, productive convention ahead of you. That's what we can hope for.
Thank you.